Sometimes we find ourselves going into life with a mindset which is threat oriented, feeling like anything that we're faced with is scary or something that we cannot tackle or won't be able to do or succeed at. Let's look at an activity where we look at changing that mindset to be more solution focused, to being able to find how we can meet the challenge and not be afraid of it. For this activity, we'll need an A3 sheet, grab a basic set of crayons, sketch pens, and if you'd like to use paint along the way, feel free to go and grab some. We're going to fold this up into 4 parts. Let's flatten it out. And I'd like us to start in the first quadrant and put down your super person. If you were super, what would that look like? It could be inspired by a cartoon, it could be from a super character that already exists, it could be a mixture of if you had powers as a human being, what would that look like? What would filter into that image? Take a couple of minutes to think and start to create this super version of yourself. Electric hair, laser eyes, long arms to hug away difficulty, a cape, wings, think of what are the different powers that this super houses, what makes them unique, what makes them who they are. Once you've finished with the first section, let's move to quadrant 2 and think of if this super had a challenger, what would that challenger look like? What would this difficulty that's posed to them, the ultimate arch nemesis, what could that be? Remember, you can do this in any form that comes to you. You don't have to stick to a medium or replicate what I'm trying to do. Think of if your super had a nemesis. Whether it's bricks, standing on legs, or another different kind of super. When you've finished your first 2 quadrants, we move to number 3 and we think of who supports this super. Who is their friend, their confidant, it could be human, animal, imagined. What would that look like? Is it a shield? Is it a cape? Is it anything additional that this super needs that supports them, that they find their resource in? And as you create this 3rd quadrant, let's think of the last step, which is together, how does the super, along with the support, overcome this struggle or crisis? Now in this quadrant, feel free to write if you'd like to. You can draw, put symbols, but how do they together overcome this challenge or this challenger in their life space? As you go to the last quadrant, I also want you to think of what in your life or in your universe do you use to be able to combat difficulties or challenges? Who is your support system? Who do you reach out to? Are there any other tools in your arsenal that you employ to work through this challenge or this difficulty? Do you cut through it, go over it, find a bridge under it? Your 4 quadrants represent yourself, your strengths, your support systems, the challenges we perhaps will face on a regular basis as we go through life, and lastly, the fact that there is always space to figure out how to get past, through, or work towards a goal where we're able to carry our difficulties with us as part of our journey. If I were to take a minute to reflect on my image, I created a super that was an exaggerated version of what I perceive to be my strengths. The challenger, a problem I've been dealing with, which started feeling heavy like a wall of bricks. And then the support system, which was some form of water or a river, just the universe and nature at large. I think when I looked at the image and these two came together, it made me realize that I can go over and around the problem, and really I'm bigger than the problem. And life, the universe, what I want, what I can do and be is bigger than this burden that I made larger than it needed to be. So take a minute to reflect on your artwork. Look at what has come up in your quadrants and what that means to you.